Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today, I know I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to do a second look, kinda, with the Mcgrath Luxe Eyeshadow Quad Passion Fleur because I got it in, not broken. So I did tell them that it broke and I had to send them a picture, right? I can expect that. And they finally reshipped it, no problem. Very nice customer service, had no issues. But they don't need back the one that's broken, obviously. And I was able to, as I don't know if you saw in the video, but it was this shade right here that got broke, right? And basically the whole thing crumbled and it was all up in the corner. And I pushed it back down enough and patted it in order to repress it. So I would say I probably lost about half of the shade, to be honest. But the other shades were fine. Now that shadow had, kind of went into those shades, but it easily brushed away. And I cleaned it up the best that I could. Well, now I have two shadow palettes, and I don't want to throw the one away just because that one shattered, and I kind of pressed it, and I think it's okay. But I thought, why not give it to one of you all? So, my thought process, because I could have gave it to my daughter, but what is she going to do with it, And I'd rather give it to somebody that really does like makeup. Let's get started. We're going to go in with the matte shadow first. And it's the only matte in the palette. So I do think that I got it pressed enough to where it'd be okay to ship. I hope. But again, it's free to you all. So, it is what it is. If you get it, just be careful when opening it. It's still in the original carton that it came in. So I have it wrapped pretty good. Like, it's in bubble wrap and then around paper wrap even, and then in the smallest box possible. So that, if it should happen to get thrown around, hopefully it'll be alright. But I thought I'd give it to somebody who has never tried Pat Mcgrath, say, or more into makeup and understanding of it than, say, my 10-year-old, because let's get real, she's into color pop, which is to be expected. So I really want to try to give it to someone that hasn't used the brand and would like to try the brand, because I just think that it would be nice to pass it along. I sprayed it down, sanitized it, cleaned it up, the whole 9 yards. So if you're interested in the palette, you do have to live in unfortunately, you do have to live in the United States. I just tried to mail because somebody did win Guess the Palette from Italy, which is so cool, right? I mean, who would have thought that somebody come across my video from Italy, right? But they did. And I just mailed them a palette. Well, whew, the shipping, holy cow. I would have never dreamt shipping costs being the way that it is, to be honest. I really wouldn't have thought it'd be that much. Like, that's crazy to me. And not just for me to ship it, because, I'm shipping one package, but I'm like, no wonder it costs so much for these brands. And when you're just starting out, there's no way. There's just no way. Because it's crazy how much I paid for not overnight, not express, just flat shipping. And I think they said it take like 7 to 21 days, right? But that was a wake up. And maybe I'm naive in thinking, I expected it to be something, I knew it wasn't going to be like $5 or $10. I knew that. But I never dreamt of what it would be, to be honest with you. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to limit that. But then I thought that's not really fair. So, when it comes to playing Guess the Palette, what I think we're going to do is, if it's in the USA, I'll mail it. Right? No big deal on that one. If you guess right and you live in the United States, I'll mail you a palette. But if you're international or something, what I think I'm going to do is the palette that I had up, and if you win, but you live out of the USA, I'll cash app you whatever the price of the palette is. That way, you know, people can still play in a sense. Now, granted, you got to understand that some of these palettes are ColourPop. Some could be Viseart. Some could be Pat McGrath. You know what I mean? Like if I had doubles or something. But I do understand that, you know, the price is going to vary on that one as far as like what palette it is that I'm giving away. So that if you live out of the country, the cash app price, because you know it may only be $14 or $12.99 or $9.99 if it's a ColourPop palette or a Juvia's Place palette or BH palette, something like that. You know what I mean? It could be more affordable, so it may not be as much. But then on another occasion, it could be just as much, because I'm gonna be honest, the shipping is just crazy. So I think that's the way we're going to do it from this point forward. If you guess the palette, because I still want everybody to play. Look at that color. That is so pretty. You can build it up to be so light or so dark. Like this color is very versatile. It really is. Like you can make it as dark as it is in that pan, or sheer it out to be a very, you know, light shade of it. It's so cool how that shade can play. So that's my idea for that. But for this particular thing, do understand that one of the shades came broken to me, so that it's going to come broken to you, as in I've repressed it. Now, could it still break on the way to you? It could. I can't help that. And again, I'm not, if it gets lost, I can't help that. None of this is, you know, unfortunately, I can have any control of. But if you've never used Pat McGrath and you're interested in this palette, let me know down in the comments, and I'll give it, I don't know, what do you think, 72 hours? And I'll pick someone, or my daughter will pick somebody, and then I'll get a hold of you for your address. And again, it has to stay in the US. You have to be subscribed, and you have to leave a comment down below. On why you're interested in the palette. And then my daughter can pick somebody to win this particular palette. And again, I would say half of the shade is gone out of that. Maybe not half, maybe just a little, you know, there's at least half the shadow left. But I just don't see a point in letting it sit here or throw it away. That's just craziness to me. And if somebody else can maybe try her brand, maybe the next time they may order, if they actually get to try the palette. But I will say, even if you do order and it came broke like mine, they were very quick at sending me my new one. Like, I have no issues at all with that process. Now we're going to go into this shade right here, and I'm going to pick it up and we're going to put it all over the lid. This is such a pretty shade. You're not going to get too many different looks out of this palette because there is only one matte. But I will say that this could be like an everyday palette up to a very, you know, bam in your face, like glam palette, because of the shades that are chosen. So whether you just do a wash of that purple, or if you really deepen it up and smoke it out, you know, you do have some versatility. And you could use this lid shade here for your lid. I mean, either one of the three metallic shades you could use for your lid and be okay too. This is all on one palette for me. We're going to take this light pink right here. I'm just going to pop it in the inner corner. I highly suggest using natural hair brushes when using her formula. It's much easier to use her formula if you are, I found. Not to say you can't use synthetic, but I know that I did use synthetic in the beginning and I had issues, and now I really don't have any issues with her palettes. Using, you know, natural brushes now, just so you know. Tools sometimes matter. Should it when it's a palette this expensive? I don't know. I mean, in a way, it should be somewhat special. We're going to go back into that dark shade and we're going to line the top lash line and lower lash line. So I can see where you would have to use maybe special brushes. But on the flip side of that, it's like if you're paying that much, there shouldn't be like a rule on how to use the shadows. They should just be usable from get-go. Me personally, it don't matter to me either way, to be honest. I don't mind using natural hair. Because I gotta get my other mirror. That's not gonna work. Because I, you know, have them. But if I didn't have them, when I didn't have them, I think that's why I did use synthetic, because I just didn't own natural hair. It was a little aggravating, sure, but it made me want to get the natural hair to shine, and I'm glad I did, because there is a difference in the brushes for sure. Is it that big of a difference? I think that's up to each individual person. Sometimes it can get lost on me because, like, I'm not a makeup artist, but I still know that there is a difference from the way it picks up to the feel on your skin to the way it, you know, blends the shadows and stuff. So there is a difference. And like I said, that purple shadow, not only can you can use it for your crease as a wash to darken up, but you can also line with it, as you can see here. Like, this shade is just, if you can only pick one matte and you don't want it to be a brown, like a neutral color, this is a really, I'm glad this is the shade she chose. But yeah, leave me a comment down below and let me know, you know, why you would want this palette. I'm curious. And why you've never purchased before, or why you didn't purchase it to begin with. Because I know the price tag to her things are quite pricey, and maybe that's why you never did it. Or maybe it just wasn't on your radar. Whatever it may be. But let me know, and if you win, I'll get it sent out to you. It may take me a second to get it to you, but I'll get it to you. So far I had 2 winners with the What's the Palette, and one I was pretty good about mailing, but it was in the US, so she had already got it and let me know. Now the other one, like I said, it was international, so that was crazy, but I took care of that at least now, and I hope she likes it and I hope she gets it. But again, I can't control. I'll send tracking and all that for you so you can track it once I send it, but I can't do nothing about it if it gets lost or anything like that, because I don't have another one to set out, obviously. Now we're going to go into this shade right here, and all I want to do is pick it up on my finger and tap it right in the middle of my lid. I just want it right in the middle, just to give a little bit of extra shine there. I usually don't like using my fingers because I find that I'm not as good, I'm not as precise as a brush, but I'm not that much worried about it today if it's precise or not, to be honest with you. I just kind of want a little extra shine right there. Look at that, gosh. I do like that shade a lot, and that's why I was kind of disappointed when it came in broken, because I knew that shade would be the shade that I did like a lot, just because it is so shiny, but it's also got a lot of fallout. So definitely spray it, do something. Okay. Now, let's see. For the face, let me go ahead and tell you, I use the Bronze Dawn for bronzer. I use Nude Venus. Is that 2? I think it's 2. This one here for blush. I really like this shade for blush. And then Golden Nectar for highlighter. And then the Bronze Dawn looks like this. I either use Bronze Dawn or Nude Honey, but now that it's become summer, I think that Bronze Dawn is going to be more up my alley for sure. And then in the winter, it would be Nude Honey, I think. Even though I do think I could still use Nude Honey now because it builds up so beautifully, just like Bronze Dawn does. But just so you know. Okay, so for top lashes, I'm going to go in with the Pat McGrath Dark Star. And we're going to put that on the top lashes. I really do like this palette. I think it is so pretty, and it's so feminine. It's so spring and summer too. Like, it's the perfect time. I would say more spring probably than summer, but it kind of is summer because of that like bronzy peachy shade in there. But then with that pink and the purple, that's kind of like a spring, you know. But I like this palette. It's definitely one of my favorite quads by her. Okay. Oh, messed up. Shocker, huh? I mess up with mascara. Say no. Happens every day. I'd be shocked if I didn't mess up, to be honest. Bottom lashes, the Lancome. And then I will clean up that mess that I did over there in the corner once that dries. And like I said, I did get a little bit of fallout, so do be careful. You may want to do your makeup first, or just don't mess with that lash shadow that I applied, because that's the one that generally gives me fallout. Or I should have used her Intensify wand, actually. But man, that's a pretty look. To be honest, that's a pretty eye look. Pretty color selection, everything. Alright, let me try to get that little speck off there. Alright, and this this is the final look. Let's put a little bit of Fake Awake in the waterline. Wasn't going to, but might as well. Yeah, there we go. Alright, final look. So if you're interested in this color story, and if you've never tried Pat Mcgrath before, leave me a comment down below on why you would like to try it. I'm going to give it a 72 hours, and I'll pick somebody from the comments. Again, you have to live in the USA, I'm so sorry. And I will ship you the palette that came to me broken. Even though I repressed it. So know that I did sanitize and all that, and you can re-sanitize it when it gets to you, and hopefully the shade will hold while in transit. But just be careful when you do open it, because that shade is easy to press back, just so you know. But just, you know, do know. But regardless, even with that said, like, there's still 3 other shades that are good. So, and as far as the blushes go that went with this one here is Fleurtopia. Flirtique. Is that correct? Yeah. And I like them for my lips. They're not bad for blush. Again, I'm not, I ain't there for the cream blushes yet. I'm trying them out. It's kind of sticky, but I will say that it isn't as sticky as some blushes that I have been playing with lately, and I've been playing with some creams. Where I messed up was I was thinking of the Natasha Denona cream to matte blushes. So they're cream, or it's cream to powder, but they turn to a powder in a sense, you know what I mean? So it's not sticky, and I was like, oh, this is sticky compared to that. Well, it's going to be. So that's my fault there. I can't compare them two things. They're completely different in that world. So that's on me. I'm still playing with them, getting my feel for them. I do like them, but I'm also on the other hand going, I don't think maybe I'm a cream type of person either. You know what I mean? So, but that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really do like the way the look turned out. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that we're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday. Again, to be a part of this free palette from Pat Mcgrath, you must be subscribed to my channel, and you must leave a comment down below. And then within 72 hours, I'll pick somebody, and if you don't respond within 24 hours from me picking you, I'm going to have to pick somebody else, just so you know. So that's all I have for you today, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.